I met a gypsy.
Do you ever follow much of like the Deegan stuff?
I mean, just, watching him racing and stuff like that. Yeah.
Like you see his character and his personality though. Like, can you kind of make any judgments there? Because I feel like he's kind of got a bit of that Valentino.
Potentially. I mean, don't get me wrong. The guy is super talented, hardworking. There's no question about it. He kind of, in a way, reminds me of the way I used to run the paddock in the GPs. Like, I had everybody psyched out before we even got to the line.
Really?
Oh, man. I used to mess with Everts all the time. He hated me so badly because I'd walk down the line, hey, what's up, bro? Like, just cool guy. And they're all, like, serious. And Europeans tend to be quite serious.
Yeah.
And I would just be, like, this free, spirited, fun-loving guy. And Everts hated me so badly. So, I see that cockiness in Hayden. And there's a fine line between confidence and cockiness because nobody likes an arrogant a-hole.
Yeah.
So, I think Brian's doing a good job of sort of monitoring that.
Yeah.
Is he the most talented guy on the track? I wouldn't say so, but man, he's got heart that makes up for it. And I certainly was not the most talented guy on the track by far, but I had a huge heart and I dig deeper than anybody else to make up that difference. That goes an incredibly long way.
Yeah, and I think that it's very rare that you find a person, to speak on Valentino, right? He was obviously incredibly talented, but he wasn't the most talented. Like, especially against, like, Casey or Pedrosa.
Yeah.
Like, man, you watch those guys ride. They were freaks, dude. But he found a way to beat them, and it was on track, it was off track, it was in the pits, it was in the media, there's this whole thing. Yeah. We've kind of almost lost that in motocross and supercross, I think. I don't know whether maybe Jeremy had a bit of that about him. Like, he was never arrogant or anything like that, but he kind of, it's like he almost had everyone just eating out the palm of his hand all the time, and he just controlled the sport in a way.
He was so confident. Like, he had 99% of the field, I would probably say 100% of the field beaten before they even got to the start line.
For sure.
He had me beaten, right? As much as I hate to admit it, there was a few times in my career where I would look left and right and go, I will kick every one of your asses today. I don't care what you bring to me. And that level of confidence. And I think that's what he had to a lot of the time. For me, Supercross, I was always way in over my head, trying to just survive a little and thinking I'm going to win. But yeah, to be a champion, not only once, but multiple times, it requires so much more than just speed, right? And talent. You got to be smart. You got to manage the field, manage the races, manage the season. You could win 5 races and finish 10th in the championship because you
run out of fuel twice and
well, that's a little out of my control. But,
But
technically I could have lost that championship due to that. So yeah.
But yeah, then there's just the field is a much bigger thing than just the racetrack.
Oh, yeah.
And there's some guys, and I think, Valentino was one of those guys. Jeremy's probably different because he always really was the most talented.
Yeah.
I think, so like that's where the comparison to him and Valley might break down. And because of that, he probably didn't have to go as hard in the paint with like the other stuff.
Yeah.
But I think that when you're a guy like a Valentino, and I think this is like Hayden, I think Hayden's really, really good on a bike as well. But yeah, when you're those guys and you know how to play the media and you know how to play the fans and you can embrace like 50% of people love him, 50% of people hate him, and he doesn't care.
Yeah.
Some people fully care. They want 100% of people to like him. And when you can use all of those things as weapons against your competitors and be a demon on the track, like you're going to be very hard to beat.
You're a force to be reckoned with, for sure. Yeah, the little difference with MotoGP is the bike is a huge factor, right?
For sure.
I would say motocross, it's 70 to 80% rider, 20, 30% bike, and I think MotoGP, it's for reverse, right?
Yeah.
But that's where the smarts comes in, like making sure you on the right team, making sure that you're doing all the political moves and whatever so that you're setting yourself up for success. As much as Jorge Martin was phenomenal this year, I think he's in for a world of hurt next year, right?
100%.
That Aprilia is good at some tracks, but 80% of them, they suck. So, you're going to see an incredible rider become very average.
If you enjoyed this content, please like and subscribe. And to listen to the full 3-hour podcast, search Gypsy Tales in your favorite podcast platform or click the link in the description below. Gypsy Gang.